How great is that? Did anybody ever feel that when you were younger you were going to get to come onto a stage to 300 women cheering you to simply the best? Please bury me now. Well, probably after the lunch that we're going to be mentoring. So, although I moved from Germany, I'm actually English, and if you have difficulty in understanding me, Cliff's going to do a special DVD with subtitles so you can follow what we're talking about. So I'm really happy to be speaking after Kelly talked about Brand Omni and Signature Program, because I think my journey is a real reflection of why that's so important. And we didn't schedule it or work together on that, it just happened to come about. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and then my where I am now and what I'm going to be doing next. So when I was younger, this is a picture of me when I was 9 years old. I had two passions, and they were sport and mathematics. And if you're not sure which one of those is me, I'm the little chubby kid at the front. When I started playing, I was 5'6", and I was one of the tallest in the team. The second year, everybody else was more than 5'6". I haven't grown an inch since I kind of peaked in that year. But one of the things about these two passions were, being really keen on mathematics and sport. That made me very smart and very competitive. And those are not bad qualities to actually take forward in life. And this allowed me to go to university, and I graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics, which I'm very good with numbers, analysing, problem solving, and my competitive spirit coupled with that allowed me to move and work for a lot of Fortune 100 companies. And when I first started working for them, my career path was a little bit too slow. You had to do a job for 3 years and you get promoted, and then another 2 years, and I'm not doing that. That's too slow for me. So I thought, okay, how can I accelerate my progress? So I looked around for the toughest projects that nobody else wanted to do, and I dived in, and I thought, I'm going to make a name for myself as a guy who gets stuff done, even the stuff that other people don't want to do. And I was very successful at that, and it led me to getting promotions. And I ran projects, and I've run projects from everything from $50,000 to $100 million global programs. I've run $200 million departments. I was a senior vice president for one of the top companies in Germany. And that competitiveness and smarts that I had allowed me to become really good at improving operational performance and getting costs driven down. And if you can do it faster, better, cheaper, you are going to be in demand and successful. And as I've put on here, when they wanted the job doing well, I was the go-to guy. And if projects were in trouble, I was the only guy. The number of times I got called, more often than not, I didn't get to start the project. I was called in after the Titanic had hit the iceberg and then was asked, please come and help us. And I had 100% success rate in doing that, and that put me in demand, and I got really well paid. But even though I was good at that, what I was even better at was people wanted to work for me. I was able to inspire people. I had a very simple leadership style. And I did this for around 25, 30 years, and I finally realized that actually I wanted to do something else. I wanted to play a bigger game, because a lot of people who are leading large projects really are assholes. Nobody ever wants to work for them again. They get the job done, but nobody wants to work for them again. And I had people queuing up to work with me. I even have people coming to do a marathon with me in Orlando. And if you ask them, I don't know why I'm doing this. But I'm really good at inspiring people and motivating people. So I decided that what I wanted to do was to coach and teach people on leadership. And I thought, okay, I'll start by writing on leadership. And I created a blog. And within 3 months, that blog, even though I'm not a writer and I don't have a background really in leadership other than through execution, my blog was one of the top 50 blogs to be recognized. For 2013. I quickly built up a Facebook and social media following of 400,000 people. People liked what I did. I wrote a book called Leadership. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you're attending my mental lunch, you'll get a free copy of that. And then I wrote another book called Fast, and that's the book that I'm going to be launching in October. But if you look at this, I attended Emerge last year, and I had all this following, but people didn't really know who I was. They didn't know what I was offering, and I didn't really know who my customers were, because a lot of the people that were following me were in the 18 to 30-year-old. So it was young people who wanted to move into leadership positions, yet my background was in corporate. So am I going for the young people? Am I going for corporate? Two completely different markets, two completely different strategies. So I decided that watching Kelly talk about brand dominate, I needed to do something. So I sat down and discussed it with my beautiful wife, who's filming this somewhere. And we decided, should we move to Florida or not? I was in Germany. We needed to move. So we made a long list of the pros and cons of do we move to... And 30 seconds later, I signed up for MRT. We went home, we packed our furniture, put the house on the market, and we moved here. So the first thing I had to do was get my marketing and branding sorted. And it was a difficult process, and Kelly actually didn't just give me one Diamond Day, she gave me two, which I called round one and round two. And Kelly said to me, we can't see you. You know, you're in Inc. magazine as a top 100 leader, yet your branding doesn't show that. And she asked me, what's your favorite color for your branding? And I said, green. And she said, no, red. Red, red, red. And I said, how about blue? She went, red. So we thought about that, and it was a technical knockout end of round two. And Sabrina and Kelly and Cy did a fantastic job of creating the brand. And I went from being behind the scenes writing with this huge following to being up front, red, direct, owning it. And it was all about self-worth. You know, you're in Inc. magazine, it's like, I didn't even know what Inc. magazine was. And I needed to own it. But the next thing I needed to do was to figure out what it was I was going to offer. And I talked to Kelly about my fast approach, and the first time I didn't do a really good job of explaining it. And then the second time I said, look, I know you think we should be doing inspiring leadership, and I'm down with that, but you know, fast really, it's a recipe for success. It's about focus, accountability, simplicity, transparency. With focus, you need to know what you're doing. You need to be crystal clear on what your goals are. If you're not crystal clear, you can't write it down. If you can't write it down, you're missing out on the research that says you're 42% more likely to succeed if you can write your goal down. If you can't write it down, you can't share it. And the research shows that if you share your goals, you are 70% more likely to achieve it. So you need to get the focus right. Accountability is about the who, simplicity, keep it simple. And then transparency is about what's involved and how far do we have to go. You know, if you want to have a baby in 6 months, good luck with that. Pregnancy's 9. You know, you can't do that. And when I kind of explained it this way, Kelly just went, we're doing fast. You are going to be fast. You are going to be Mr. Fast. We are going to push the fast brand. And what fast would be great for is, it would be great for entrepreneurs. And I'm like, but I'm looking at young leaders. I'm looking at corporate. And she went, no, entrepreneurs. And I struggled with that a little bit because I didn't believe it. And going through MRT and working with my lovely sisters, it became more and more clear to me that actually, maybe it should be it should be with entrepreneurs. And then working with DLC, it came more. And finally, my aha moment was that the things that cause failure in corporates, which is the lack of focus, accountability, simplicity, and transparency, are exactly the same reasons that cause entrepreneurs to fail. So if it works for corporates, it's going to work for entrepreneurs. So I'm in Inc. magazine. Why not go for Inc. 5,000 companies and entrepreneurs? And we branded my book, which looks a lot different from the pasty white version we had up front. Kelly forced me to do a fast intensive for DLC members. How many people attended that? Was that any good? So I kind of had to accept that what Kelly was telling me might have been correct. And my takeaway from this is that, for you, is that branding is crucial. You've got to have good branding. But more importantly, you've got to live the brand. You've got to be the brand. Because when you do that, that is when the magic happens. And I am fast, and fast is me. And these slides are a little bit out of sync, so I'll just go back. So I am fast, fast is me, and by living that, what I've been able to do now is I've been able to look and come up with the right product offerings. I have fast coaching, where I've worked with people and helped them write a book in 6 weeks. I've worked with people and helped them go through an interview process and increase their salary by 30%. I've done a fast approach to Twitter because I have 150,000 people. You know, I've applied my approach, I've made it simple, repeatable, and understandable so others can do that. I'm going to be working with one of the people here, and we're going to be doing a Fast Forward Your Business workshops, and I'm also going to be doing fast certification. I was actually approached by somebody who said, you need to be certifying this. And I said, really? And they said, we'll pay for it, or we'll give you half the money. And I'm one of those do-it-for-me people, so I'm currently in negotiation. So as Kelly said, you know, branding is important, and you need to get your brand right. You need to live it, you need to be it, and when you do that, the magic will happen. Thank you.